children, thin people, fat people, large people, tall people, green people, white people, every people. It is Thursday. And it is Doctor Who Legacy. And I have sad news. Lee and Susan cannot be here through an unexpected occurrence of life. They haven't told me what this unexpected occurrence of life is, simply that it is unexpected. Which leads me to think very deep thoughts about, the things that you can prepare for, the unexpected. No, the expected, the things that you cannot prepare for, the unexpected things that you do sometimes expect, which is the expected unexpected. And then, of course, there are the things that you do not know that you wouldn't expect, which is the unexpected unexpected. I believe from the description of their message, this may well have been unexpected unexpected, but it might well have been an unexpected unexpected. So either way, my commiserations are with them. So you have me for an hour. And I thought that because the new Doctor Who series is coming up, I thought we'd, do some like nostalgic Doctor Who Legacy and also nostalgic Doctor Who, because, and this is, I think this was Lab's idea. I saw it earlier because I was thinking, what should we do tonight? We haven't got Susan and Lee. What are we going to do? I thought it might be really cool to just have a look, like a bit of a nostalgic look back at series 8, the first Capaldi series. No, because it's been a year now, almost a year. We're talking about kind of 9-10 months. I thought it'd be quite nice to kind of like think, so what do we think in retrospect? Because when you watch a program, you've got like your instant reaction to it. You know what I mean? You've got that kind of like, you watch it and then you instantly kind of go, oh, that was good, or that was bad, or I like that, or I didn't like that. And then sometimes you go back later and it's different. You watch it again, or you kind of think back a couple of months later and you kind of think, actually, you know what? I didn't like that as much as I thought I did. Or actually, no, I like that even more than I thought I did in the first place. Apparently, I'm out of sync. I apologize for being out of sync. Well, I'm not that sorry. I'm not really sorry, but I will try and fix it. How about that? Which way am I out of sync? Are you hearing me first, or are you seeing me first? Tell you what I'll do. I'm going to say the word, which isn't really a word, but it's like a sound, and then I'll make it, and you can tell me if you heard the "but" or whether you saw the "but" first. So you ready? Here we go. But did you see it or did you hear it? And I can tweak it. I can tweak it while we're live. I don't need to go off live. Off live. Off live. There's a new phrase. That sounds like a really nice way of saying death. Sometimes people don't like to say sad things, so they use other words instead of like sad things. I think we should all make a conscious effort the next time someone dies in Doctor Who. You're not like, oh my God, they killed him. He's off live. Something like that. So apparently you're hearing it first. Okay, so I just need to increase the delay in. Wait, no, I'll reduce that delay. There you go. That's moved it 100 milliseconds. Let me know if I need to move it more. So I thought we'd go back through and see what we think like a year on. And I'd love it. I would love it if you would join me and you would give me your thoughts. And, I could see what you guys think as well. And we'll have a little chat about it. And I do hope that you guys have been enjoying the new Doctor Who Legacy levels. There's so much kind of new stuff to do in the, the kids area and all that kind of stuff, and the Sonic adventures. Now Susan, of course, being wonderfully lovely, although she can't be with us tonight, she sent a code along, which is for, let me just have a little check. It's a code for A Strand of Time. She says, sorry, we've had some stuff that come up today. I've made a code for 1 strand of time per person since we just added 20 more rank 6 upgrades. And we might possibly make this like a regular thing that you guys get a free strand of time for turning up. So I'll put that code up on the screen probably in like 20 minutes. Okay, and you guys can have a little strand of time that is your very own, that you can keep. How's my sink? Not my kitchen sink, my time sink. Time sink. No, there's not really a joke there. There might be a joke there. Give me some time. I'll write it down and think about it, and I'll let you know. So tell you what. What is we're a year further on now, so we've had time to reflect. We've had time to ponder. We've had time to kind of go, oh, yeah, this, that. Yeah. Peter Capaldi's Doctor. Describe Peter Capaldi's Doctor in either 3 words, if you're a 3 words kind of a person, or in a sentence. Okay, and be fair, don't, because he's kind of grumpy. So then I think the stereotype is to go, oh, he's the grumpy doctor. But no, there's been other grumpy doctors. So let's all. I'm going to do this too. We're going to all just take a minute, and we're all just going to stop, and we're going to think. We're going to think about our Pick Capaldi episodes. We're going to take just a second to just have a little silent time, and then we're going to come up with what we think, 3 words or a sentence to describe the Capaldi Doctor. And I tell you what, if you use the exclamation mark question thing before you say it, then you guys will be able to see it. Then I'll be able to kind of put them up on the screen and things. So I tell you what, okay, let's just take a minute. Here we go. This is our 30 seconds thinking time. I'm gonna pull a suitably thinking pose with my hand like this. Okay, and I suggest you do the same. If you're more of a kind of like a traditional like Rodin's thinker type person, then it's more like that. You might be more of a kind of like hand on fist type person. Some of you might like the more kind of relaxed pose like that. Some of you have got the the toilet, which is more down there like that. But I'm going to go for that. So here we go. Thinking time. That wasn't 30 seconds, but I think that was a suitably good pause. Let's see what you guys have started to say here, looking at the thing here. Toyga Cat says, a little boy in a grumpy man's body. Which you could probably say about the Doctor full stop. Your second favourite granddad, attack eyebrows and shut up. Realistic, fair, and awesome. Realistic, that's interesting. Is he a more realistic Doctor? He does react differently to Tennant, and he does react differently to Matt Smith, and I'd put him more similar to Eccleston. I'd say Eccleston was quite a realistic one because he's there was kind of a grittiness to him and something you could kind of identify with, in a way. JB Archfan says he's a big softie. White Cat said she's Clara's adopted dad. Baker meets Pertwee, angry Scottish eyebrows. Back to basics, says MEK Skama. Refreshingly different, says Snow Joke. Brilliant Doctor replacement, rough around the edges. Meh stories, great Doctor, says Agrajag. Interesting. I actually agree more with Skater Toon. I was going to say something like this. Skater Toon here says he's insecure, authoritative, and I've just lost the other one because it just disappeared on the edge. Insecure, authoritative, and analytical. I agree, because my actually first thought is, my first thought is grumpy. Because he's got that wonderful kind of like wonderfully sarcastic, like, hey, what? Type thing. And, but I think he's actually very, very insecure. Because if you remember, he spends a lot of time, especially in like the early, say, 4 or 5 episodes, inquiring about himself. Clara, I'm not your boyfriend, Clara. Tell me, pal, be a pal. Am I a good man? And, I remember doing the review shows, and a lot of the stuff he talks about is like introspective, who am I and why am I here? And what have I done with my life or my lives? And who should I be? And am I a good man? And I forgot, because I'm a year away now. I've forgotten some of the initial, like internal debates he has with himself, but he's a very, very self-questioning Doctor in a way that I don't remember, Matt Smith being at all. I remember David Tennant's Doctor had that kind of midlife crisis a little bit at the end. Do you remember he was a bit like, like, shall I interfere with time? And things like that. And obviously Eccleston's Doctor had regret, but none of the Doctors I remember so far have this almost identity crisis. I don't know, that seems too strong. I wouldn't say it's a crisis, but certainly he's taken a lot more time out to reflect on himself, which I think is really different and really interesting, because he is a complex character with a lot of history, who's done a lot of things that are morally questionable. I think he's the good guy, but there are certain stories where they deliberately put him in morally questionable situations. And I think that's a really nice aspect of this character, especially in the early episodes, to take a bit of time out and kind of go, so what am I? What have I, actually become? Which is right. Snake Soza there says he's questioning himself. I found season 8 to be a heavy reflection on my own personal life, on talking about kind of depression and recovery. And I think some people are very reflective, and the 12th Doctor is incredibly reflective. Hey there, Gaming Monster. Nice to see you on the stream there. And Skatertoon points out he never expected to have this life. He thought the Matt Smith was it. He goes to Trenzalore, he gets old, he expects to die, and all of a sudden, through Attack of the Daleks and interference from the Time Lords, he gets an extra kind of set of lives. And that's the thing that's really interesting, that he's a man who suddenly has the possibility to look back and reflect on his life. And I mean, imagine if you thought you were going to die. This is a little bit gloomy. Sorry, we won't use die. We'll use off live. Imagine you thought you were going to go off live, and then all of a sudden you didn't. You might do the whole let's go crazy and party thing. There's lots of different ways of reacting, or you might start looking at the life that you've had and gonna go, well, am I happy with how I spent it? And that I think is a strong part of his personality. Obviously, he can't spend all the next series doing that, because at some point you'd be like, just get on with it. But you can certainly have it there as a nice way of kind of introducing his character. Let's see if I can bring Pete in to join us. I might be able to bring Pete in to join us. I'm not totally sure. Give it a go. A whole bunch of you. I'm sorry I haven't had these up on the stream. Hey Pete, how you doing?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Pete's saying, hang on. Just while Pete's getting ready, a whole bunch of you, by the way, have just come up as just becoming Addy patrons. And if you don't know what that means, it's the donate button underneath the stream. And a massive thank you to, sorry if I miss any, ZRS1, to Henwar, to Loves, to Snow Joke, to Crystal Sky, to Dr. Trench. And I think that's the only ones that are coming today. But thank you so much. That should have automatically updated your stars and things like that. I'll put the on-screen chat on in a minute. But thank you so much for that. And obviously you get all the bonuses that go with that. And just thank you for supporting me and helping me do what I do. You there, Pete?
I am. I'm here.
Hello. We've got no Lee, but we've got each other. We shall cling to each other for warmth.
Just us two.
I thought what I'd do, obviously talking a little bit of legacy as we kind of go, but I thought it might be quite nice with series 9, if I'm right, just on the horizon, to have a little talk about series 8 a year in retrospect, and kind of talk about, what we thought at the time, maybe what we think now. So you might need to swallow your breath, because I'm going to say obviously lots of lovely things, but I might say some things that, I'm not so sure about this episode and things like that. But it would be lovely if you would join us for that chat and stuff. Are you up for that, Pete?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it then. Let me just stick my legacy up on the stream then, so everyone can kind of see it. And there's the on-screen chat. It does mean, unfortunately, my personal face is going to be smaller, which I know is going to upset a lot of you, because, it is my face. Right, here we go. So episode 1, of course, was Deep Breath. That which was Big Dinosaur, the Peter Capaldi, first episode. What were we going to get? What was going to happen? And and we had the whole thing with it was the half-faced man, wasn't it? That was that episode, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was really cool.
So tell you what, everyone. I've blanked all the questions. Use exclamation mark question again. What do you think? Deep Breath, a year on. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What was your favourite moment? You can tell me anything. Any question that appeals to you. What comes first in your memory? What comes last in your memory? Do you think it was a good entry? Blah 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 blah. But tell me your thoughts. But Pete, what? I know you obviously you got the BBC connections, but Deep Breath, a year on. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh no, as a fan, I thought Deep Breath was really cool. I thought it was a great introduction to the Doctor. I thought the use of the Paternoster gang was really cool, because they're great characters, and there was some action, there was some comedy.
There was.
Especially around Strax, who is he's always worth a laugh.
Was that the famous newspaper episode where she gets hit in the face with the newspaper?
yeah, that is quite funny. There were a few other Strax moments, and if you go back and review the episode, you'll see them. Certainly around scanning Clara and other things. Thinking back, it makes me chuckle now. But yeah, no, it was great. And actually, the huge T-Rex was almost. It was kind of it was a foil. You kind of think the episode's based around the T-Rex, especially when you saw the previews.
Yeah.
Actually, it almost had nothing to do with the T-Rex. And that was a great distraction. I thought it was really cool.
It was the episode. Sorry, because obviously it's a year on now. So I'm just, if I get any things factually wrong, everyone in the chat can shout at me and let me know. But it was the one that linked back to the Madame de Pompadour, didn't it? It was the.
That's right. So the clockwork androids were collecting organic parts to repair themselves, and they so when the Doctor was accidentally swallowed in his TARDIS by a T-Rex and appeared in Victorian England, they took advantage of it and used parts of the T-Rex's body, and unfortunately got rid of the rest.
I felt that I really liked the sister ship to the Madame de Pompadour thing, and I liked this. There was that the bit that they never showed, wasn't there, at the end when the Doctor was kind of wrestling but kind of just talking with the half-faced man at the end, and he was like, it was something on the lines of, well, you can either jump or I can push you, and we both know which is going to happen. And then it cut away, and then the guy fell out, and you never knew which happened. Am I remembering that one right? It was deliberately ambiguous.
No, you definitely. And you know what? I've asked the guys in Cardiff for the TV production team to what they thought happened, and they wouldn't tell me. So,
well, it's obviously written to be deliberately ambiguous, and it was one of those ones where I wondered if they would have a flashback, like in the series finale, and it would show you for some reason. But it looks like that they very much decided, we're never going to tell you. Perhaps we don't even know. We're leaving this open to the character, to the interpretation of the audience. And I think I like it when programs do that. A bit like how sometimes, like a painter might not fully make something look exactly like something to make you think about it. Or how like what's his name? What's the guy that wrote American Pie? Don McLean. He's deliberately left his lyrics ambiguous on that one. He's refused to kind of fully explain what it means. I think it's nice when a program sets up a little, what do you think happened? Dilemma. I think I liked that about that episode a lot.
Yeah, it's a bit Hotel California.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing: you can bypass this question if you want. And I remember saying this in the review show I did at the time, that it felt a lot like at the end of that episode. There's the bit where Clara's really unsure about staying with him. Do you remember? And she almost runs out, and then Matt Smith phones up.
Yeah, which I thought was beautiful. What an amazing moment. Actually, I'm a soppy guy.
It was lovely to see Matt again. And I thought that was cool. I felt at the time, and I wondered kind of out loud with Clara when we were doing this, if it was almost like Matt Smith was almost talking to the audience as much as Clara, and kind of saying, it's all right, it's an older Doctor, but don't worry, it's still the Doctor. I wondered how, and was there nervousness in the BBC, like, about having an older Doctor? Like, because it felt to me like the last 10 minutes of the episode, the message was, don't worry, he's old, but it's going to be okay.
No, not at all. And, in fact, the kind of viewing figures have reflected that, especially in the US, where it's actually the series has gone from strength to strength. It's I think it was up 30% on viewing figures last year. So I think change is good sometimes, and certainly an actor with the gravitas of Peter Capaldi just brings something special to the show. and it's really, that first season was just awesome, and I've been privileged enough to see some of this season, so I know it's going to be even more awesome. So yeah,
there were some lovely ideas in Deep Breath. I mean, it was one of those ones where they'd obviously thrown, because it was slightly longer, I think, wasn't it? Like just over an hour or around an hour.
Yeah, it was. It was special. Yeah, it was. It was really good, and it was great to see. Vastra and Strax and Jenny and all of.
Really quite disturbing bit in the middle, in a good way, with where Clara has to hold her breath. Do you remember? And she has to appear. She has to appear like a robot. And so she can't breathe, and she's walking around and trying to escape, but she can't breathe. And there's that scene where the Doctor abandons her in the middle. And obviously, we as the audience at this point are kind of going, what is this new Doctor's personality? And he actually kind of goes, I'm going to go. And she's like, do you remember the whole bit where she's like, well, at least leave me the sonic screwdriver. And he's like, I might need it. And just goes.
Yeah. It's a really funny story. The year before that, we had a chat with Stephen Moffat, and he was saying, we're doing this new thing where you can't breathe, otherwise the monsters will get you. I was like, oh my god, it's like the Weeping Angels where you can't blink. It's like, oh, that's so cool. It was great to see it come to fruition. But yeah, I love this, the set design and everything in that first episode. It was just beautiful. It was a classic episode that people won't forget.
I'm just going to speedily read through the comments that people have put on the Deep Breath episode. I'm not going to read the names just to make it quick, everyone. But thank you to everyone who has put comments. One person says the Doctor flirting with the dinosaur was their favourite moment. One person says Deep Breath equals unnecessary dinosaur. Sorry, Pete. There were a lot of different ideas in that episode, and it's interesting to hear different interpretations on it, because you could say the dinosaur was unnecessary, or like you said, you could say that the dinosaur was a red herring. You thought the episode was about one thing, but it was actually about something else. And it's interesting, always interesting to hear different interpretations on the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
Woohoo Rose says, I think there should have been more with the dinosaur. I could agree with that. The fact the dinosaur was there, it would be nice to see more of it. But like you're saying, Pete, the episode was actually about something else. And I really liked the half-faced man thing, and I wouldn't want to have seen less of that. 12 Oswald says, this was my favourite premiere of the new Who. Interesting.
Ooh.
So what would that be competition with? Competition with Rose and 11th
Hour?
11th Hour, and what was the Christmas special with Tennant? With the it'd be with the Ziggurats, wouldn't it? I can't remember the name of that. Yeah. Called. He spends the episode asleep in his pajamas. A Time Lord says I loved the Missy scene. Stickman says I loved it at first sight and I still love it. I was thrilled to see Strax off the bat. The scene in the restaurant was my favourite. Look without looking. There was some really good dialogue on the episode. I definitely agree with that. Attack Eyebrow says, I thought the age thing was jacked up in Deep Breath. I thought from Day of the Doctor he had regenerated into carefree youth after making the impossible decision to follow up Gallifrey. To have Vastra say it's a trust thing rang hollow. There was that scene in the middle where Vastra puts her mask on and talks to Clara and kind of gives her a bit of a stern lecture. I'd forgotten a lot of these things.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool.
What did you like about that scene?
Well, I think, she was saying that, essentially appearances can be deceptive and you shouldn't judge people by their appearance, which I think is a very valid thing. And, Clara had some prejudice.
Which I think is good. I think it's good when characters are flawed, and that includes the companions. I don't think you want someone that's just perfect all the time. And I think it's good for them to have questions and to have things that they need to work through, and they go on a journey. And I think we talked about this a lot in the reviews. I would say, I remember, you can stay out of this comment if you want, but I remember saying to my wife Clara that we felt that Clara had a quite bad Matt Smith series. Like, she didn't do a lot. Like with the Russian submarine episodes, the episodes and stuff were good, but she ended up not doing a heck of a lot. But I felt she really, really came into her own in the Peter Capaldi series, and she moved she had that. She went on a journey of not trusting him, to learning from him, to taking on enemies by herself, to even in the last episode saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the Doctor." And I thought she was a brilliant companion in the 12th. So she went from being someone that I was a little bit kind of like, what does she really stand for, to someone that I think is a superb companion, and I'm hoping she carries on.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously an attraction there between Clara and the Doctor, the 11th Doctor, and that was kind of, and that's been a kind of a theme for all of the new series.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's unrequited. I mean, look at Martha, who obviously had a really strong attraction to the 10th Doctor, and left, and made it very clear to him why she was leaving, which I think that was one of the most powerful scenes in the series. So I think Clara is an amazing character, and it was great to see her kind of come away from this not weak character with Matt Smith, but certainly, she's come into her own with the 12th Doctor, and it's good to see.
I think she initially came, from what I read and from what I saw in the episodes, her initial idea was that she was going to be like kind of computer genius or something along those lines, but that didn't seem to stick.
No, it was interesting actually, because originally I think you'll remember that she was a nanny or something like that, and then when we saw her again with the 12th Doctor, she'd become a school teacher, which is a fantastic journey, and obviously it allowed the stories to take place in Coal Hill School, which is the classic Doctor Who school back from 1963. So it's a good journey for her, and I think she's a great character. She's feisty, and
she's now. She is now. Let's have a look at. Last week I set the challenge to colour in Capaldi. I'll just share. Can I share my screen with you, or are you on the iPad?
I'm on the iPad.
You're on the iPad. Okay, well, we'll just watch the stream for a minute if you want to see it. I just want to show some of the people some of the awesome coloured in Capaldis that we've had. So I'll just stick up my desktop on the screen there. And thank you so much for entering. Now remember, these are just for fun. So we'll show them off to be entertaining, but I'm going to pick a winner completely at random. And in fact, I did that earlier. And so the winner of our Crystal While message after the show is Ferocious Elcat on Twitter. So congratulations, Ferocious Elcat. I'm not sure who that actually is. Is that someone that's got another name on here, or is there someone actually here called Ferocious Elcat? Oh, there is a Ferocious Elcat. They're here. Congratulations, Ferocious Elcat. I will Twitch you your code later. Someone rhyme me at the end, and I'll do that. Well done, Flash. And thank you to everyone that entered. So here we go. What have we got here? We've got Leanne, who's done. That looks like it's coloured in by hand, like felt tips and stuff. It's very scary eyes there. Lovely done. That looks like kind of what I wear in my rock band stuff, which is very nice. Jen Devine's last minute entry. Very, very cool. You guys, of course, are welcome to shout out as we go past, ones you particularly like or ones that you have got some thoughts on. Doctor Who, 12th in his red coat from Series 9. When does he wear a red coat? I don't remember him being in a red coat. Do you remember being in a red coat, Pete?
No.
I don't remember a red coat, but maybe there's a moment. Nancy's before and afters here, putting him in tartan. It's nice the way the Doctors always have something these days that harkens back to the past Doctors, like items that they've kind of borrowed from previous Doctors. Do you have any items you'd like to see crop up in the future?
Actually, the tartan trousers. Have you been watching the trailers?
Oh, is that what's coming up? We've got Jimmy Mac's entry here, or James's entry here. A nice ginger Doctor. Am I ginger?
Doctor, I like that.
I think that's the Doctor going through his mod period. I think that's the expect him to bust out some jam there. That's nice. Big, dark black Doc Martens. It's interesting because some of these have just been coloured in to be fun, and some of these have been coloured in as kind of reinterpretations, which is very nice as well. Oh, I like that. They've called that a lazy MS Paint Doctor, but I actually really like the white outlines. Those are, obviously, if you're watching on the stream, you'll catch up with this. But I actually really like the style there, and it kind of keeps, because obviously this is the kids artwork, so it's okay for it.
Yes, cool kids, yeah.
Tell me the story behind this artwork again, Pete. It was commissioned but then never used. Is that what you said a few weeks ago?
Well, I mean, it was commissioned basically because we wanted to do stuff more that was aimed at kind of 5 to 12-year-olds. Because obviously the Doctor Who magazine comic strips are very much kind of 12 plus. And we've got Doctor Who Adventures. So we kind of define this art style as core kids. And it's been used on apparel, which is lovely. And it's been used on some other merchandise. But it's also going to be used on the Doctor Who comic book creator, which we're going to release later this year. And only a few things were created in this style. And Georgie Britton, actually, previously, who managed the art stuff for Doctor Who, created this stuff. But Scary Beasties, who are doing the comic book creator, have expanded it and created a lot of new artwork, which is in the same style. So, yeah, the comic book creator is going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, that's essentially where it came from. It was a baseline for people to work from, to create stuff for kids.
And some more wonderful interpretations here of that kid's artwork. In fact, here's a rainbow version of the 12th the 12th Doctor. Wonderfully coloured, purple and blue. I'd love to see the ones of you that covered in the backgrounds as well, and kind of put them next to like TARDISes and all sorts of things like that, which is great. And thank you to everyone that's been that's the same one again. Sorry. Thank you to everyone that's been retweeting and supporting the people that have been doing this. I know Cherie's done a lot of retweeting and Tiny, so thank you to you guys for helping people get their artwork shown, because obviously it's lovely to make these things and it's lovely to know that other people have seen it, which is great. And I think that takes us back to the week before, so I think I'll stop there. Obviously we're about halfway through the show now, or just over, so we're not going to be able to talk about all the episodes tonight, but we could from last series, but we could maybe talk about some more next week, and we'll definitely get through a few more tonight. But so we're just going to pop to commercial, and when I get back I will then give you the code that Susan's left me for the Strand of Time. So we'll be back in 2 minutes, and I'll put that code up on the screen for you guys to get a little bit of a legacy freebie. So we'll see you guys in 120. Okay, hello everyone. We're back live, and I think with that large crash, I think that might be Pete back as well. You there? He's not there yet. We'll carry on. Let me stick up the game again. So, thank you very much for all of your thoughts on Deep Breath. I'm just going to clear all the questions. Let's start talking about the next one. Now, the next one was Into the Dalek, and this one might be a more controversial one because this was one that was very popular with a lot. Hey Pete, how you doing? Welcome back. Into the Dalek was an episode that was very, very popular with a lot of you guys. Hello, hey Pete, can you hear me? Oh, I think he's hung up on me. I've been hung up on by Pete. I'll just call him back and hopefully we'll sort that one out. And I'm just grabbing that code for you. Just grabbing your code for that. Let me, while we're waiting for Pete to get back, I'll put the code back on.
Hello?
Hey Pete, you back? You back with us? Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Great. Awesome. Cool. Technology.
I'm just going to put the code up on the screen for this strand of time. Now, this is for everyone who is watching, but if you could please not, like we've done with previous codes, if you could please not share this out. This is for people that are here, for you guys to enjoy as a special thank you for being with us here. So please do not use this as an opportunity to spread around various websites, and it will expire at about, I think Susan said, about 10 o'clock my time, so that's in approximately an hour and a half. So you've got until then to put that into your games, but of course you can do it now if you wish. And the code, I'll just read it out, but I'm sure you can see it, and I'll post it into chat as well. Was 9583 7597 9962 8389. Okay, so have fun with that one. It should work. If it doesn't work, let me know and I'll message Susan about it. I think because Susan and Lee aren't here, we'll postpone the Amazon giveaway today, because it also be nice, since they've done all the kind of dealings with Amazon, it'd be nice for Susan and Lee to kind of be here when we do that one. So we will definitely do the Amazon giveaway. We haven't forgotten about it. Those of you that are Addy patrons and Posse members, don't worry, you'll still get your extra entrance to that. But we'll do that next week to make sure it's all kind of above board and things like that, especially if there's kind of money involved with those ones. So Pete, Into the Dalek. Now I'm gonna state where I am on this one at the moment. This wasn't one of my favourites, but I know it was a lot of people in the chat a favourite. I loved the idea.
Interesting.
I remember at the time not particularly enjoying what then kind of happened as a result. But what I tend to do with episodes that I don't like is I tend to then watch them again a long time after the event and then like them a lot more the second time. So this is actually one of the ones that I really would like to give another go and see if I like it more the second time round. So if you guys, who are watching, give me your thoughts on Into the Dalek. What are your thoughts on this one, Pete? Did you think it was well executed? Did you enjoy it? Was it a favourite, or what do you think?
I liked it. The first time I saw it, it was a pre-production version, so there was lots of Welsh Daleks. The lots of the TV production team doubling for Daleks, which was quite amusing. And in fact, there was a different ending.
How dramatic! The ending was that he went off to face the other Daleks, didn't it?
Yes,
they changed the ending. I'm assuming you can't tell us what the original ending was.
Unfortunately not, but it will be in my memoirs when I publish them.
Can you tell us? Okay, let me change the question that you might. Let me answer a question that you might be able to answer then. Is there often uncertainty about how a particular series will end? Like, is it quite a normal thing to have a kind of change of heart?
No, very rare actually. It was a change due to the political issues of the time, really.
Okay, this wasn't the one with the. Was it the beheading or something?
It was a similar issue. So, yeah.
Okay.
One of those things.
That's fine. No, please don't say any more than you.
Yeah, no, I love the introduction of the Dalek antibodies, and yeah, and
you've got some pre-order in your memoirs already, by the way, just to let you know.
Oh, thanks, Chiz. The whole Dalek thing, and the fact that we've actually got Rusty the Dalek in Doctor Who Legacy, of course.
Yes.
Is canon now.
Yes, indeed. The good Dalek, or the possibly good Dalek, because because it's been a long time since I've seen this now. He was only good because of his disease. Is that right? Like
That's correct. Yeah. He was. The irony that Daleks, the most pure race in the universe, who only want purity. It's a great story. It's really cool. I think it's not my favourite story of the season.
There was a few things going on, wasn't there? Because there was the kind of journey through the Dalek itself, kind of like that, like Doctor Who's version of Inner Space, and I think they even acknowledged that at one point. And then there was the secondary story about am I good, am I bad, which then became, and I remember saying this in the review show at the time, that a lot of the early episodes of the series, the Doctor's own personal insecurities were being mirrored in like the enemy of the week, and in this case it was the Doctor, am I good, am I bad, and Rusty, am I good, am I bad, which I thought was a really lovely idea.
It was, and we got to the end of the episode when the soldier wanted to go with the Doctor and he turned her down. Yeah. And actually I felt really bad about it. I wanted her to go with him.
I think that was a nice inclusion, though, but to have characters who are turned down by the Doctor and to make him look a bit more selective, because the Doctor does look a little bit sometimes. People will probably object to my use of language here, but he does look a little bit loose sometimes, because he does often seem to kind of jet into a situation, kind of goes, "She's pretty. Would you like to, come into my TARDIS?" And obviously there tends to be an adventure that leads up to it, or something like that. But he can be quite quick to invite people to come on, to kind of come along, and it was nice to see him actually showing a bit more selectivity, to make you think that he actually does choose his companions quite carefully, normally as a result of something they've done, some bravery they've shown, some courage they've shown, some loyalty they've shown. And he actually was, no, I don't want a soldier in the TARDIS. That's not right. That's not going to be good for my journeys. Which introduces a whole extra kind of set of questions about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, except I think we all remember the episodes with the Ninth, where the Doctor takes on a companion who betrays him.
Yes. Which I liked that a lot. I think I would like to see more of that. Not a complete repeat, but it going wrong.
I guess that kind of harks back to Turlough, really.
Oh, sorry, I'm not so good on the classic stuff. Tell me about Turlough.
Oh, I'm sorry. Turlough was a Peter Davison companion.
Yeah.
Who was being cajoled by the Black Guardian to destroy the Doctor.
Oh, cool. So the companion was actually a plant or a traitor. That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, certainly, during the time, it was really cool, and it was actually, he was introduced in a story that brought back the Brigadier, which was great as well. So I think it might not have worked separately, but together it was a great story. It was really cool. And the guys in the chat are talking about, obviously, the Dalek. Emmy Skarma's liking the "exterminate the Daleks" line. A Gryffindor saying, "Into the Dalek was an interesting look at how the Daleks work and the Doctor trying to figure out if the Daleks could actually be made nice," which was a nice kind of philosophical and ethical question. Wahoo says, "I liked it. It was different and an interesting way of understanding how the Daleks think and feel," which I think is important, because I think modern day programming, I don't think. You're welcome to chip onto this as kind of the program. As I've gone on the inside, it's like people no longer just accept he's the good guy, he's the bad guy. There needs to be like a motivation. Characters are more dimensional. They tend to be multi-dimensional, not very multi-dimensional. And I think it's interesting to take a character like the Daleks, who actually are very much just like kill, destroy, and ask more questions about why. And I would say that I thought this was a lot more successful than Evolution of the Daleks. The whole thing with the human Dalek. I think that was an interesting idea, but I didn't like it in the end. But I think this was better than that. The whole, can a Dalek be good? Can a Dalek be bad? What do you think? Do you think that this wasn't?
Well, I think there have been so many Dalek stories, and certainly, back in the very early days, there were some stories that touched on Dalek morality, and then we had Genesis of the Daleks.
Yes, which
really defined why they were what they were, and I'm not going to give anything away. But the first 2 episodes, obviously, of the new series are Dalek episodes. And you will find out more. That's all I'm saying.
Cool. Well, obviously, don't spoil us, but I like a slightly cryptic preview. I can cope with that. Matchstick McMahon says, I enjoyed the existential Dalek bit with Rusty about what is truth. I agree. I like that question as well. Liverpool Rose says, I like the concept for Into the Dalek, but I wasn't crazy about the episode overall, but I did like how it made you think more about the Doctor's character. And Clout Taven says, it's an epic footprint from the Fantastic Voyage shrinkage. I don't understand that question, but if that means something to you, then cool. Then we had the episode, and this will probably be the last one we talk about today, because we've only got 10 minutes left, I'm afraid. Is there anything I've forgotten to do today? Obviously, we didn't have a lot to do about Susan Lee here, but I've given out our code. I've shown the cool stuff. Someone let me know if there's anything else I forgot to do. Now, Robert of Sherwood was the one that had to be edited at the time, like you said, for political reasons. But let's leave that aside. I think we talked a lot about that as at the time. So again, I'm just going to blank everyone's kind of comments. So tell me if everyone, just give me a comment. What do you remember about Robert of Sherwood a year on? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Favourite memories? What did you think? And thank you for shouting there, Pete. So Robert,
that was Robert Sherwood. It was great. It was a fun episode. That in fact, I remember when we were sitting watching the showings, about halfway through, every time Robin did something, everyone went, "Aha!" So I think it succeeded as being one of those really fun episodes, especially with the spoon thing, and
I'm going to beat you with the spoon.
The Doctor cheating at the archery contest, and it was just really, it was almost an interlude between the episodes that come before and the episodes that are going to come afterwards, and there is definitely an episode coming in this season that serves the same purposes.
Okay, cool. So it was a little kind of break between other things. It was, it is a cool idea. I liked this episode overall. There were little nitpicky things I had, but you're never going to be, not everyone's going to like everything. But I liked the idea of the Doctor meeting a fictional character in quotes and being like, what? He can't be here.
Brilliant.
And having Clara on one side and the Doctor on the other, and then the audience as well, kind of again being in the middle, kind of going, so is this guy here or is this guy not here? And that was cool. And I think again that was another analysis of the Doctor's own personality, because I can't quite remember the angle, but was it something to do with about being heroic or something like that? I can't remember the actual angle, but again, Robin made the Doctor again look at himself and who he was at the end.
Yeah, and the Merry Man as well. It was all, the Doctor had presumed them to be fictional.
Of course. And they had some proper, I don't like using the word, but they had some proper banter, the Doctor and Robin. I think that was the first time I think that this version of the Doctor had met someone that gave him kind of as good as he got when it came to kind of the banter and stuff, and neither of them would let it go.
Yeah.
They both got rescued by Clara at one point. Were they locked? They were chained up or something. And I can't remember how they got rescued, but they both ended up looking a little bit foolish.
That was the very beginning, I think.
Oh, was it? What are people saying about this one? I liked how the Doctor thought the Merry Men weren't real. It wasn't my favourite, but it's not as bad as the Trees in London episodes. It's a Gryffindor. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't talk about the Trees episode. Would you even say anything negative about the Trees? I mean, that's going to be the test for Pete. What will he say about the Trees episode when we get there? Then we know how much he's towing the party line.
Next week.
You're busy next week, aren't you?
No, I mean, look, the Robin episode really was made by some great acting, some great writing, and Tom Riley as well. Tom Riley as Robin Hood was just, he made me smile all the time. It was brilliant.
And a good Sheriff of Nottingham as well.
Yes.
Firebolt, I like how Robin and the Doctor traded insults with each other. Emmy likes the Doctor with a spoon. Bree says, I love the silliness of it. It was good to show that the Doctor could still be immature as well as old as grumpy. That's a lovely point as well. The youthful, the more playful aspects of the character are still in there, but, to different degrees. And a few quotes. History is a burden. Stories can make us fly, which is a lovely quote. And we're all stories in the end, says Lady Who. That wasn't the episode. We're all stories in the end. That was Matt Smith, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh, I can't remember. I know Clary's got it on a lovely little pendant. Well, who Rose loved the spoon and sword fight. I think that for me that it's one of those episodes that I don't remember a lot about it, but I do remember there being a lot of moments I enjoyed. I think it's one of those episodes that's not an all-time classic, but is a good part of a series overall.
Well, I mean, Ben Miller as the Sheriff of Nottingham was, and the original episode, the original ending, of course, where he did lose his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
Well, you said at the time you thought that might one day be restored in a DVD. Do you know?
I'd really love it to be, but unfortunately, it hasn't been so far. It obviously was a very sensitive issue at the time. But I thought it made it a better end. But at the end of the day, the sheriff got what he deserved.
We said I don't want to get too much into this debate at the time, but Doctor Who is a fictional program that is escapism and it's fun, and there's the occasional debate that comes out of it, like is the Doctor a good man, and the occasional introspective thing, but your Doctor Who is not there as a show to make you think hard about real life world events, is it? That's not the role, and I think it was good for Doctor Who to sidestep that kind of controversy. I think
certainly, as a public service broadcaster, the BBC has to take into account many people's views and opinions and sensibilities. So I think the decision was the right one. So, yeah, certainly before we go, I'm going to say, controversially, I read the script for all of the episodes for season 8. Listen was my favourite scary episode.
From the script?
From the script, and actually when I saw it live, it was really scary. Really, really scary.
Do they end up different from what the...
Sometimes, actually, the script for Flatline, I saw it and thought, okay. And when I saw the episode, I thought, oh my God, that is just so amazing. That is really, that's as scary as, as anything I've ever seen with Doctor Who.
That's the one with the thing moment, isn't it? The Addams Family thing moment with the Doctor stuck in the TARDIS and climbing.
Yeah, and he gets shrunk down. Shrunk down.
So funny.
Yeah. No, it was really, really cool. And, the script didn't read that way. So it just supposed to show you, what you see on the written word is often... it doesn't portray what it becomes when you actually film it, create it, have actors, sets. So,
And obviously, on looking at Legacy here, we've got for the third level is Into the Dalek Part 2, which of course Lee put in because they felt they couldn't do a level for Listen, because obviously Listen was the, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a reason why they couldn't put an enemy in that episode. Do you think, we talked about being ambiguous earlier, do you think they should have left that episode more ambiguous about whether there was something there or whether there wasn't something there? Because it was a little bit ambiguous, but they more or less came down on it was just bumps in the night side. Would you like to have seen them gone down more in the middle, or do you like the way they did it?
No, I think it was sort of left in a really ambiguous way, really. I mean, if you take it in a linear sense, when you watch the episode, that first, chalk stuff on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. And I don't want to spoil things for people, but it was the section in the children's home where the Doctor and Clara are facing out of the window.
Yeah.
And I think the moment I mean.
Don't you? Just for a second, you see something.
Yeah, and that. You know what? If I think back to Genesis of the Daleks, when you see Tom Baker being attacked by a Dalek fetus, it's just those moments. If I was 8 years old again, I would be behind the sofa. And, my father, I remember Genesis of the Daleks was the real one for me. Hiding behind the sofa while the program was on, and he actually said, "Look, seriously, there are other stuff on television. If you don't want to watch this, I'm going to turn it over." I was like, "No, I want to watch it, but it's a bit scary. Just tell me when I can look. Tell me when I can look." Oh, but yeah. So Listen for me was that kind of scariness, and yeah. Sorry, I'm being a bit too enthusiastic, but
Listen is one of the. I'd be interested to speak to like a younger viewer, like a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old, and see what their reaction to Listen is, because I know that from the guys in the chat, from me, from Clary, from yourself, and for the older viewer, it's a brilliant episode. 'Cause it's very psychological and it's very. There's that scene back on Gallifrey at the end. There's, you're questioning it. There's the Doctor sitting on the TARDIS. There's that bit where he's kind of like, the perfect hunter, the perfect this, the perfect, there's so much there to kind of think about. So it's great for an older viewer. But I'd be fascinated to know if a 7-year-old would go, it was amazing, or whether they'd go, there wasn't any Daleks. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if.
Yeah, I do. In fact, I've forgotten about the end of the Gallifrey thing. Yeah, I think the beginning of it is going to resonate for the younger fans. They might get a little bit turned off by the end of it, because it does get.
The ending was an interesting choice. And the ending was a big. I don't know how much you guys debated that one, but they didn't show much of the Doctor, and they didn't show much of the couple that was with him, possibly parents, but that you're showing a bit of the background of the character that, as far as we know, has never really been shown before, which is probably a bigger thing than it must have seemed at the time. Do you think?
Yeah, no, I do, and of course, it plays a big part in the 50th.
In what way? Remind me.
Sorry, not the 50th. The episode where we see the War Doctor come back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that is the 50th, right? So,
yeah.
The 50th with where the barn that he has the hand in.
Of course, yes.
Yes. So that's the same barn.
Yes. Yes, I'd forgotten that. Yes. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice little touches that link up, but I'd forgotten that one. But that is a nice touch. A place that he actually considered home or a safe place, or yeah, nice.
And what's even more interesting, I think, is the fact that the barn is dilapidated in that episode, and it appears to be in a desert, which is a bit odd compared to what we saw.
Yeah, it was a farm land, wasn't it?
Yeah. And is that due to the Dalek attack on Gallifrey?
Well, look, we could easily talk all night about this, but we obviously we have to go to bed and we have to finish. So if you've tuned in expecting to see Susan and Liam, we're so sorry they couldn't be here tonight. But I do hope that myself and Pete have entertained you and given you a nice nostalgic look back at Series 8 while having some legacy on the screen and talking about the kind of game that's gone on there. We do hope you enjoy your Strand of Time. The code is currently on the screen, and that will work for about another hour. As far as I'm aware, Susan and Lee are planning on being back next week, and along with the Amazon giveaway, will be back next week. And of course, there'll be some lovely new levels around as well. So thank you so much for coming. We hope you had fun. And of course, Pete asked me to mention, and he mentioned himself, that the kids' artwork that we showed you earlier, and that you guys have been colouring in a week, of course, is from the kids area in Doctor Who Legacy. And if you haven't unlocked that, please do so, because there is help support the game, and you'll just get some brilliant levels to play. You should be really suitable for your kids. Some great unlocks and costumes to have fun with. And I'm planning on playing them through, on stream with you guys. That's been good. And Pete, is there anything else you'd like to plug or say, or?
Not really. Somebody said on the chat that as long as the Doctor isn't Luke Skywalker living in the desert, no, I'm pretty sure he's not. And yes, I received the Christmas episode script today. I've not read it. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Do you read these with a slightly heavy heart? Because as soon as you read them, you spoiled it for yourself.
Pretty much. But unfortunately, I have to read them so that I can make sure that Susan and Lee get all the things they need to make new content in time for the episode, which is a heavy heart, and sometimes it's fun. But and sometimes there are surprises. You read the scripts and you watch them on telly, and oh, that's not what happened in the script. So it's great. But episode 12 is top secret, and I've not been allowed to see it.
Top secret.
Yeah. So it must be really big.
All right, boys and girls, we are going to go and swim off into the urethra. So thank you so much for being with us tonight. As usual, I'll play a few adverts and I'll give you some bonus Addy Gold. You have, of course, been earning Addy Gold all through the episode to use in future giveaways. And I'll be back over the weekend playing some more Skyrim and having fun with that. I'm assuming that some of the other guest streamers will be around as well. And, of course, you can find all of the old Doctor Who Legacy stuff is on YouTube channel. And this will be on Doctor Who, will be on YouTube as well very, very shortly. So do go and check out all their stuff over there. And of course, while Susan and Lee aren't here, of course, there's the Doctor Who Legacy Twitter, there's the Doctor Who Legacy Facebook, the Doctor Who Legacy website. If you haven't got enough Doctor Who Legacy tonight, then do go and check those places for some fun and games. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. And of course, we can't possibly go last of Team of the Week. There you are.
We gotta try the Team of the Week. Team of the Week. If you're out of luck and your strategy sucks and there's something new you seek, try the Team of the Week. Yeah, the Team of the Week. Try the Team of the Week, people. It'll make you feel good inside.